Hello to our worldwide pals. Tonight we're back with our first interactive show, Vacaytalks. It's been a while since our last YouTube video, and here we are bringing you back all the memories of travel industry. Now we will talk about hospitality with our guest speaker, Kirill Mineev. And before that, let me introduce you to our host. Hi Rehan, you can take over now and please lead up the show.
We try to answer as many as comments or questions as possible. For today, first Figure Talk, it's a very special topic actually. In the Figure Talk, we will always talk about everything related to the traveling, tourism, and also about the hospitality in the wider scope. But for today, we're going to start with the hospitality as a choice of career. And I also have a very special guest now, a good pal of mine, Kirill. I will invite him later. But before that, I'd like to tell you a bit more about him. So he's a friend of mine from Russia, but he's currently living in Brisbane, Australia. He's starting hospitality career in one major hotel chain group, Accord, if you I believe you're aware of it. And he's stepping up from the guest service agent up to the duty manager and now also to the executive manager. Besides that, he also now starting his own venture. What interesting about him is he actually have a prior non-hospitality educational background. He was the accountant before, but later he jumped into the hospitality industry. So it will be interesting to know more about his experiences, everything that he already experienced from his career in the hospitality industry. So I'll just invite him right away because I think he's been waiting enough. So Kirill,
I'm here,
how are you,
Raycom.
Kirill? Welcome to Figure
I'm very
Talk.
well. Thanks.
How's it going?
Thank you for having me. Well, everything is um, nice and rosy here in Australia at 6 p.m. right now. So it's pretty dark outside, but I've been doing well. I've been working today. So yeah, all good. Thanks for asking. And thanks for having me again.
Thank you, Kirill. I think it's spring already, right, in Brisbane?
Yeah, we're getting there. Summer is coming. It's getting really hot. Here in Brisbane
Yeah.
today was 26 degrees.
Oh,
Nice and sunny.
good. That's nice weather, right? After winter, this nice season of the year actually. Um, you've been in Australia for I think 3 years, right? For a couple of years, right?
Actually, it will be 4 years next week.
It's
Yep.
your third anniversary.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
exactly. Yeah.
But what
Thank you, my
interesting,
friend.
actually, I want to know how you actually compare. I mean, Russia, your home country, and Australia are both main tourism destinations, as we know. But you, as the travel enthusiast and also the hospitality practitioner, how would you compare the hospitality in your home country and also in Australia?
Well, that's a good question, Rayhan. Let's start from the climate. It's really cold, but Russian people are not cold. So that's a misconception about Russian hospitality, Russian people.
Okay.
We're actually very welcoming, very warm. And at the same time, the standards are pretty high in my country. And obviously, it's not as laid back as in Australia. You can get away with many things working in the hotel in Australia. Because we have what they call no worries attitude, which I will explain like that. It's kind of, like very laid back attitude that people don't really care about minor mistakes. Whether in Russia, let's say, if you forgot about room service and you didn't bring it to the room, you would have been told out, and the guest would probably lodge the official complaint and call the higher management. Will be like quite outrageous. Here in Australia, you can get away with it quite easily. So that's probably the main difference. And obviously, the climate, the attitude, and the mentality of Russians and Australians. But I don't want to go deep into that.
Yeah. So it's a bit more like a street type of hospitality, right? In Russia, I think it's more similar to the one in the US. Do you think so?
Yeah. You're right. It's more pragmatic. It's more by the book. At the same time, obviously, the salary wise, for example, hospitality in Russia is not as valuable as in Australia. So, person who have the job in hospitality wouldn't really care to lose the job. At the same time, he would be more intimidated by the fact that actually the pressure is quite high. So it's quite interesting,
Yeah.
At the same time, the turnover in Australia, I think, is higher than in Russia. So it's quite surprising to know that.
Exactly. Because today's topic, as you're aware, is actually how can we know if the hospitality is a good choice of career for someone, for someone, and it's the right one for them. And that's why we're gonna ask and discuss more with you because you've been in this industry for years. Actually, the first thing I want to know, what actually brought you to this industry? Because I just read your resume. I just mentioned it in this live stream that you were accountant, right? You're accounting manager before. But what actually uh, attracted you to this industry? What actually the charm that you want to kick off, continue your career in this industry?
Yeah, well, Rayhan, I'll tell you that working with numbers is it really sucks at times. It's very dry and it's very boring, and it affects your mentality and your mind in a way, so that you want to have this human interaction back in your life. And that's probably what brought me to the hospitality world, because I was always a people's person. I always would enjoy having those small conversations, having those meaningful connections and friendships that you can obtain through these service encounters that you get. And obviously, I was always wanting to develop the soft skills more, and that's what hospitality gives.
Okay. And also, I noticed here, I haven't read it, I haven't mentioned in this video yet, but you're also part of the a core typology. Everyone in the hospitality know how great it is. I mean, for everyone that just start his career or her career in this industry, um, is there anything that you can share with us? Is that really a great experience for you when you started your career by joining that kind of program? Because they learn about soft skill that you just mentioned. That it's not only the one actually. I just mentioned the one that actually you already attended. So would you mind sharing us what it's all about?
Yeah. So, well, I first started at the core after was 3 months of my arrival to Australia, and it was amazing experience. It was something super new. I started as an all rounder, so it was basically working on reception, working as a concierge, as a valet, parking cars, doing luggages. It's all like very basic level job. I super enjoyed it because you were always on your feet, and you had to think on your feet as well because it was a very very busy hotel. It was a hotel by the largest stadium in Australia, and that stadium, the capacity of that stadium is massive. It's like 100,000 people can fit in that one, and that was one of the. It was probably actually that was the only hotel in the vicinity, and it was a cross complex hotel. It had a Novotel and Ibis under the same reception, and there was a Pullman hotel just across the road. And I was working on all three of them. In our system, we had like one system for all of these hotels. It was very crazy. It was hectic. We were hosting events for Adele, for Justin Bieber, Jeremy Seinfeld, and I literally met these people. So it was very exciting. It was super nice experience because I mean the management was awesome in this hotel. They were very welcoming, and they would introduce me to the world. They knew that back then my English skills weren't that great, so they always bear with me, and kind of treated me fairly and nicely, and it was amazing, and that's probably gave me the biggest boost in my career. That place that I started from, and man, I mean that was hell of a great experience in general. It was amazing journey for me. Yeah,
Exactly. Um, that's interesting because it's a busy hotel, right? And you mentioned I think you did almost every roles possible in the industry, and that's actually the art of being hospitality professional. You need to know from the bottom so you can understand up when you're there in the strategic level. Because as I'm aware in your resume that you step up really quickly. I think there's something you need to share with us. I mean, especially for those who are considering or about to start his or her hospitality career. What actually the qualities? What actually the personalities? Because that's the theme for today. What actually is required from everyone to really enjoy and excel in this work in the profession?
yeah. Well, Rehan, that's an awesome question, and I'll try to give you the best answer possible because I know how important it is. Um, well, to excel in this career, you have to be very open minded, first of all. You have to also uh, be able to work crazy hours and to work on yourself. You have to go above and beyond. Um, you should not expect uh, like huge income or anything from this career. You have to do it for your passion, not for money. And that's probably the biggest advice because um, coming from accounting background, I was a bit disappointed with the income level because the thing is, as a hospitality professional, um, as a even a receptionist, you have to do so many things. You have to multitask a lot. So be ready to multitask. Be ready to uh, think on your feet, and you have to be a people's person. So you have to enjoy the interactions. You have to enjoy the encounters. You have to be nice to each other, nice to your coworkers, nice to your guests as well, and don't afraid to screw up. That's probably the biggest advice I can give. Don't afraid to screw up, guys. Why? Because you learn. You have to understand that you're gonna make mistakes, and that's perfectly fine. When I became a duty manager and then an executive manager, I was screwing up so much, and hey, I never ever lost myself, and I never been upset about it, and that was probably that's what made me excel in my career. Also, that's a very important one. If you want to get promotion as soon as possible, don't wait for promotion to come. Apply for other jobs. Don't stick to one hotel. What I've been doing, I've been applying for promotions internally, and when I ran out of options, because like obviously there are ups and downs. There are some seasons in the career as well. You know, like say summer is busier than winter, and obviously like when it comes to winter time, and you want to step up, then probably you won't find that many opportunities on the market. Then you have to open yourself up for other opportunities, but that's only if you want to progress quickly, as I did. I didn't want to wait, but many people they feel that they actually have to hold back a little bit and learn as much as they could at the current role before stepping up, and that's perfectly fine as well. Everyone has its own pace. I knew managers that progressed to the management level in no time, and they were great managers. I knew managers that progressed to that level in a very long time, and they were very bad managers, and like it goes on and on and on. There is no formula. You have to listen to yourself. It's the same as, you know, like you doing your gym routine, or you know, you exercising, and obviously you have to listen to your body at that point of time. You don't have to, like, you know, force yourself. And here as well, this career is honestly is not a rocket science. Is nothing like crazy. You, in the end of the day, you're just serving people. That's what you do. Don't afraid, guys. Just go for it.
You mentioned two important words actually, the people skills and also the people person. Actually, I have these interesting questions. Where's the best place to learn those kind of skill? To be the good people person? Do you think any best place that you can learn it?
Honestly, I think that you are born with it, and you literally learning it throughout your
You grow with
entire
it, right?
life. Yeah, you grow with it. Like you know how you have this introverts and extroverts. So it's the same as I would be advising how to become an extrovert. Well, obviously you can push your boundaries. You can step out of your comfort zone all the time. For example, you're afraid to talk to people, and you challenge yourself. You're like, no, today I have to talk to 10 new people, let's say, and you just go out, throw yourself out there in the open ocean. Don't afraid to be awkward or weird or anything like that, and you just do it. You know what I mean? And no matter what it takes. And that's what will help you to learn the soft skill. Obviously, I can say degree, because degree just teaches you the basics and how to interact with others, how to network. Because you know, in the end of the day, it's not about assignments. It's about how you communicate with people. You know, how you like call your classmate and ask him about the assignment, about the nuances in this assignment. You know, what teacher said that you didn't get and stuff like that. So, or how you negotiate with the teacher and things like that. So, when you learn this, degree or this hospitality skills, then you don't just focus on technical skills. You focus on just simple human interactions. So it's not about studying something. It's about being yourself. It's about pushing yourself out there.
Exactly. That's good one. That actually relates to our topic. You need to ask yourself: is hospitality is the right for you? Is a good choice of career for you? You need to ask first to yourself. Then, if you say yes, it's the one for me, then you go for education if you really need to, because not qualification, I think, doesn't like you mentioned, doesn't necessarily make you a good service people, because maybe at school or at college, hospitality college, you learn about the skills, the hard skills, the serving skills. But again, back up to the hospitality spirits or personalities, it's on you already. You just need to develop along the time by the time you doing your qualification. I think that's what you meaning to mention, right?
Yeah. Well, I want to emphasize that obviously the degree is not as important as your desire, as your passion. Because in my career, I knew so many people, and again, top level management people, general managers, even CEOs that got no degree whatsoever. And I knew some people that had irrelevant degrees, commerce or marketing or anything of that sort. Basically, I even knew engineers that excelled in this career. So, hey guys, it's not about degree. It's about your passion. It's about your desire. It's about how hungry you are. How how do you want to how do you want to become who you want to become? And the degree is just a tool to achieve this.
Exactly. Actually, you already mentioned. I read an article, interesting article from the Lyon Institute of Higher Education. You know that hospitality school in Switzerland, right?
Yep.
It's just like I think 8 to 10 short questions. It's just like a fun questions actually. But when I read that, I feel it's not really just that light question. You think it not complicated, but when you ask, you can answer that to yourself. I think it's answer if you really fit to this industry. I tried to read it through just a few of them, but I will ask you back, Kirill, how does this topic relate to your experience? You mentioned already about the meeting people from diverse cultures. You already mentioned it, right? Because in hotel you meet every kind of people in terms of culture, backgrounds, also characters. How do you think the quality that you have, that you enjoy meeting people, new people, helping your career, especially when you just started?
Yeah, that's a good question, and it is very important. Obviously, you have to enjoy that, and the thing is, it will take you a long way. It will definitely help you out because honestly, hospitality is all about how to make people happy, and you have to understand the culture. You have to understand the differences, and you have to appreciate these differences. Obviously, there are so many cases like meeting a Chinese tourist group that wouldn't probably care about those small, minute things like attention to detail kind of things, like swans on their bed and things like that. But they would probably care more about delivering the service in the timely manner. If they ask you something, you have to respond very direct way, and they would really appreciate it, and deliver the service as soon as possible, and they would appreciate it. When it comes, for example, to Americans, they would love to tip you a lot, but they expect a lot from you. They expect you to be their best friend. They expect you to give you a top-notch service. For their buck, because they love value and stuff like that. So it's like those small differences that you will pick up on your way throughout your hospitality journey. They will give you definitely a huge competitive edge. So definitely recommend it.
You're right. You're right. Before I continue with the next questions, I will also invite everyone listening now or later watching the rerun of this live stream. You also can answer on your own. I mean, I will ask you. I will ask one by one all these questions. So feel free to also ask yourself, because it's really important that if you really want to know if your personality is really fit to the requirement, like Kirill mentioned about meeting people from different culture, and he also actually mentioned answer my second questions. You would like to make people happy. Again, that's the job, like, right, Kirill? I mean, to understand what they really expect. Different culture have different expectations, different attitude, different habit. You need to know how actually to meet the expectation. Maybe that's the point of this second point. The third question you can test yourself if you have an eye for detail, and the fourth question, if you work well under pressure. Do you care to elaborate how these two really important, Kirill? Detail and work under pressure.
Well, that's actually, those 2 points are probably one of the most important ones, and you have to ask these questions and answer honestly, because details are super important in the hospitality industry, and that's where mistakes are coming from. But again, that's no problem. If you have a good management, they'll pick up on your mistakes, and then they have managers above them that they might pick up on their mistakes as well. The thing is, you want to prevent it from happening. You want to have this, quality management in yourself. So you always, what I used to do, I always used to double check and triple check for myself. So if I done something, I checked it again. So that's the detail component. And working under pressure is disrupting this process completely, because literally you can, as I said, you have to be able to multitask a lot. So let's say you're just working on reception, and you're checking a guest in, and someone is asking you something, and the phone is ringing, and you have a guest request that you have to fulfill, but at the same time you have to check in the person. So obviously you can forget lots of things, and that's what the pressure is all about. Well, in this case, you have to be able to calm yourself down, and you have to have this trait of yours. You have to be calm, and I'm quite lucky because, hey, I'm Russian, and Russians, they are always calm. So yeah, I have it in my blood. I'm proud of it. Yeah, guys, work under pressure, eye for detail, two probably the most important components if you want to excel in your career.
You mentioned previously about don't be afraid of making mistakes. I think if everyone who just start their career in hospitality, with all the pressures, with all the multitasking thing, of course we make mistakes, right? Is there any interesting story about making your first mistake? Of course, making first mistake, not repeating it. Is there any interesting story that you can share us, just to encourage us? Just make mistake. That's fine. You learn very fast, and you don't do it again. Do you have any interesting story you can share with us?
Well, actually, I have too many stories to share because I made so many mistakes. Literally, it's because most of them they're coming from not being familiar with the system. Let's say, for example, when I first started Opera system, I'm not quite sure what this beast is all about. So I was like experimenting, doing stuff, and the worst mistake the receptionist can make is checking someone into the wrong room with someone already inside the room, because obviously there can be a walk-in situation, when someone walking into someone who is naked, God forbid, and stuff like that. Well, I did this mistake. Basically, what happened was I was working in that system we call property management system, Opera. That's the name of it. And I was checking a person in, and then he came back to me with the key, saying that the key is not working. Well, I had to recut this key. Obviously, I was working under pressure. As I said, there's so many things happening. I wrote down the room number incorrectly on his key wallet, right? Then he's giving me back the key. Obviously, why this happened is because he was trying a different door with the key from the right one. I'm cutting the key for him from the room number that I've written on his wallet. And I didn't happen to check it. Well, funny thing is, I didn't happen to check it properly because the surname of the person staying in this room, coincidentally, was pretty much the same. So I was checking his name, and his surname is almost identical. It's something like Stevenson or Stephenson. It's like just a matter of one letter. You know what I mean?
It's common name, right? It's common surname as well. So it's
that's the thing. And I just briefly checked it, just glanced at his ID. Yeah, you're from that room, and I'm cutting the key for another person, basically, with the same surname, almost the same surname. So I should have checked his name as well. I should have checked many more details, but obviously because I was under pressure, I didn't pay attention to that.
Yeah.
I gave him the key from another room. Well, what happened? He ended up walking into another guest.
Occupied room, right.
Luckily enough, occupied room, and there was someone in this room, and it was not in the middle of the night, but it was late evening, something like 9 p.m. So another guest could have been sleeping there already.
Yeah.
So it would be like so obviously scary for them as well, and they might have demanded a refund or something of that sort. I've been very lucky that the person inside that room was a laid back Australian mate, so he would be just no worries, mate. Shit happens, and that's a great thing about Australian culture that I enjoy a lot. It's really forgiving. People here, they are laid back, and that's what saved me. If only it happened in Russia, hey, I would be probably dead by now, honestly. So hey, things happen, mistakes happen. Don't freak out. Don't worry. The thing is, even if it happened in Russia, I doubt I would be fired because first I was new. Second, it happened even to the most mature people in the industry, like my manager. He said, "Hey, Kirill, don't worry. It happened to me not once, many times. Okay, because we always work under pressure and we just human beings." So that was probably, and that's the worst mistake a receptionist can make, believe me.
But it also happens to everyone. So, and like you mentioned, the point that you stay calm, of course, after you make a mistake, because there's some cases when you make mistake, you went crazy, but you end up didn't do anything and making things worse, right? So again, that's why important in the industry that you have also a good recovery skills, right? So actually, that's also help everyone who just start to, because that's the nightmare, the worst nightmare for everyone who just started. It happens to me too. We make mistake. Even small will scare you out. But again, mistake happen as long as you learn a lot of things from your mistake and not repeating it. I hear some people say it's better to make more new mistakes than you just repeat one single mistake every time. It shows that it's not for you. The work is not for you. That's actually what I hear about the details thing and pressure in the hospitality work. Also, the next point is that I don't know if it's really if it's really you. If you like learning new languages, is it really important trait or personality that required for working in the hospitality thing?
I'd say English is enough, especially considering the all those voice recognition translators and things like that. So, literally, yes, Chinese tourists in general, they're not as proficient in English as some other nationalities like Europeans. You know what I mean? But they're quite tech savvy, and they all have these translators and things like that. So honestly, if you just know English language, that should be enough. If you want to learn some more languages like Chinese, let's say, that definitely will be a huge bonus for you. Because we had Chinese, we always, in every hotel, we had at least one Chinese team member that's on shift because they want to deal with someone from the country. You know what I mean? So it's not just about language, it's also about the culture and so on and so forth. And that's why, obviously, as in every industry, you have people of a different skill set and of a different background. And that's why it's a multicultural, diverse industry, because it's important.
Exactly. They always have mixed team, right, on the desk in case of, because of course we have international guests coming, and there will always be someone in charge for specific country of origin. But do you speak Russian, of course, English, any more language that you speak fluently, or maybe you can just reading or things like that? I think you learn a lot.
Klingon, and what they call it, Elfic. Yeah, Elfic. Very fluent in that. Yeah. It's from the Lord of the Rings. You know, the elves.
Okay. Like, yeah. And what
very
about
fluent at those two?
Sorry?
I'm very fluent. Very proficient. Can read and write and chat.
Nice. Yeah. See, I think
very intellectual topics.
Good. You just learn new languages by the process, right? You just realize, because I have some colleagues too that actually start learning new languages by the time they work on the industry. When they speak to the people, they try again, back to the second point, to please them, to understand what they need, and they learn bit by bit. And now they're actually quite
Yeah,
good.
yeah, you're right, Rayhan. Actually, that reminded me that on working on the desk, having many Japanese tourists, I learned some basics in Japanese. So yeah, I can speak a couple of phrases in Japanese. That's no problem. Yeah,
What
in
about traveling?
Chinese, maybe not that much, but in Japanese, yeah. Hey.
Okay. Do you love traveling?
Oh man, yeah, that's my passion. That was actually one of the reasons. I came to Australia and I started to roll out. I even with hospitality, I was thinking that's great opportunity to travel because you can be transferred all around the world. Let's say if I were to continue with the core, they could have transferred me to Southeast Asian countries, and I would probably get like a general manager role right now. You know, having my experience, so that's quite awesome. And usually, all those general managers, they usually been provided with accommodation and even like sometimes personal drivers and stuff like that, especially in the Asian countries. So yeah, that's a nice perk. That's a nice benefit that I was considering when I was thinking about what industry to embark upon next.
Cool. Again, Kirill just mentioned two important questions that they begin need to ask themselves. First, do you love to travel? And secondly, do you want an international career? Because you never know where life bring you, where future bring you. You never know. Like Kirill now, he's in Australia. He can be somewhere else, maybe in a year or two. So everyone needs to be ready in this industry. But that's the fun of this industry, actually. You can travel, you can learn about new places again, new people. And one last question, actually, do you like to work hard and play hard? Do you, Kirill? Do you think it
Man, I say it all the time. Don't work hard, work smart. Okay? I
Oh,
love to
cool,
work
cool, cool.
smart because I'll explain you why. People tend to find themselves some tasks that are unnecessary to do because they want to keep themselves busy. Rather than doing that, I would optimize things so they work smoothly without my intervention. You know what I mean? Automation of certain processes is very important, and delegation as a manager is super important. You have to be able to rely on people, and for that, you invest time in training them. That's the thing. So you have to work smart. When I was a duty manager, and there was another duty manager working with me, she would be saying, "Hey, Kirill, why don't you stay back? I always stay back 1 hour, 2 hour, because I don't understand why you're staying back." That was my answer. I don't understand why. How you even say yes? Of course, if there is an emergency, if you have to help, if there is like a flight disruption in the middle of the night, you have to stay there, check them all in, make sure everything is smooth and stuff like that. Give a night manager a hand if you're working on PM shift, or an evening manager a hand if you're working on the morning shift and stuff like that. Or if you're a front office manager, you have to help your duty manager. Sometimes you have to stay back. But hey, man, it's all about playing smart, not playing hard. Remember that.
Okay, cool. That refines it. That's a good one. That's a good revision from Kirill. That's the more updated one. So work smart, right? That's actually we need, not only in this industry, in every profession you are, but of course you need to have a balance. You need to excel in your work, but don't leave your personal life alone. You need to keep it balanced. That's actually everything that we can see that from this fun question or light questions. Actually, this really required for everyone who gonna start your career here. So the first one, let me sum up again. Do you really enjoy meeting people from diverse cultures? Secondly, do you like to make people happy? And thirdly, if you have an eye for detail, the next one, do you work well under pressure and you're good at multitasking? And the next one, do you like learning new languages and you actually pursue an international career? And the fun part, you love travel and you love work smart. That's actually the question you need to really ask yourself if you really want to ensure yourself you're going to start it. I just read a few comments coming to our live chat just now. There's a mention that, like you mentioned, Kirill, don't be afraid to start. Of course, don't be afraid. Give it a try. If you make mistake, learn from it. Keep calm and make another mistake, like what Kirill mentioned. And there's Ryan here mentioned push yourself to the limit. I think that's a good one, especially if you relate about people something not something thing that you can't predict. It's different if you work in other profession. You don't deal with people in your daily work, but people you need to specifically identify. I believe Kerry have a lot of experience on it. How he understand each of the individuals that come in to stay to his hotel. I think that's also important. And also read there's a mention about passion is the trigger. Like Kirill mentioned, you're right. You need to be passionate about it. You need to be really into your work because hospitality is not about seeking money. Do you agree with that, Kirill? Because it's about
Yeah, man.
right?
First of all, it's not about money; it's about your passion. You can always find a way to, earn some side income. Let's say for me, it was investing, and and again, like it's about, as I said, playing smart. And the thing is, it's a hard work. Hospitality is a hard work. You work. Sometimes you have to work crazy hours. Sometimes you work when others are relaxing, having fun on the beach, in the bars and things like that, because you required, when you first start, you required to work Saturdays, Sundays. You have to do this shift work. So it's not Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. Okay. That's very important to keep in mind because when I first started, I didn't even think that have a huge impact on my life, on my personal life, on my lifestyle as well. Because if you have friends that are working 9 to 5, say goodbye to your friends. Like seriously, you will be able to call them maybe once in a while. Maybe you will catch up before work on Saturday because you work in PM shift and you want to go, have a coffee in the morning together or something like that. But that's pretty much it. So you have to be able to sacrifice something, at least on the first stages. Then when you get to the management level, then yeah, you might have to get yourself good hours. Saying that, right now with coronavirus, general managers are pretty much working like a duty managers. Yeah, and my ex general manager, she is working like a duty manager, like a receptionist during these crazy times as well. That's what she does. And hey, just be ready because everything can happen.
Exactly. Actually, that's not next question I would like to ask you about the tough reality we are facing now. You mentioned even the general manager stepping down in the daily shift to be the duty manager. I mean, working on the desk, right? What about for those who are still at uni now, about to finish, about to jump into industry in practice? What is your suggestion, your motivation? What actually they need to prepare or they need to know, they need to be aware of?
The people that still study, well, they just have to enjoy their lives right now because when they graduate, they will probably have to face the tough realities of life. And if you want to excel in your career, you're ready to go that extra mile for sure. And I'm not saying that you have to work crazy hours, but sometimes you might need to cover for someone. Sometimes you have to be there for someone. People call in sick, people resign, turnover is huge. So let's say, even if you're a duty manager and someone resigned from your team, what do you have to do? You have to work this shift. You have to work as a receptionist, as a duty manager together. So that's again comes down to multitasking, but you already knew reception probably if you are working as a duty manager. Then say you are a front office manager or an executive manager even, and your duty manager resigned or called in sick. Well, you have to cover sometimes in emergency situation. So obviously you have to be ready for it. And don't think if you are a manager, you're someone special or something. You never think this way. You have to be able to be a hard worker and don't afraid of a dirty job that might come across.
Exactly. And Kirill, I just read another comments again. They say your idea, your story is so inspiring. It's from Faris. Thank you, Faris. And he hoped that we can back on traveling again soon. We wish the same as well for that. Hopefully soon we can travel back and the industry back to new normal, they say. And also there's some mention here that you taught her how to excel in the career path, so she can choose on her own. And also there's a comment. She said, "You're handsome and smart." Would you care say hi in your language in Russian, Kirill? Because I think they're expecting it. Do you mind?
Well, what do you want me to say?
Just saying hi, thank you, something just in your language, anything. Just
Okay,
it, actually.
Yeah, no worries. Спасибо, ребят, за то, что присутствовали сегодня на конференции. Благодарю вас за внимание.
That's nice.
That's it. So just thanks for your attention.
Okay. You know what? Because Indonesian people, more and more of us, before COVID, of course, they travel more to Russia. I mean, Russia is a rising star in our tourism. I mean, besides Australia, London, UK, US, that's common. But Russia, it's getting more and more interest. So that's why I believe when they listen to this live stream, also later the rerun, they will get more excited that actually we have a Russian guest here. But when did you last time go back home to your country?
It was literally 1 month before COVID happened.
Oh, so you're lucky.
When I was coming back to Australia, they were talking about closing down the borders. Yeah, so it was January.
You returned in the last
December.
minutes then.
Yep. Literally, jump on the last plane. I was quite scared and terrified. But honestly, guys, there is no need to worry. Coronavirus is temporary. The number of deaths is not that big. It's like 0.5%. Don't want to, sound like political, like an expert or something. I'm not an expert, but at least
stay healthy, stay safe.
Yeah, keep that chin up.
Yeah, you're right.
Don't get depressed. Don't get upset. Don't get into that poisonous state of mind. When you're just sitting there doing nothing and losing your hope, because there are so many opportunities right now, especially opportunities to learn and grow. It's time to read books. It's time to learn new language. It's time to learn new skill, whatever, guys. You just have to learn right now. Just use this time wisely. So when you look back, you say, yep, I'm proud of myself. I done all that I could, and now I'm gonna do what I wanted, what I always wanted to do. So whether it be hospitality or something else, like, to be clear, I'm not in hospitality right now. I'm focusing on my investments and things like that. But hey, hospitality taught me a lot. So I cannot recommend it more to anyone who want to learn how to live, how to appreciate small things, and how to be able to be a team player, to be with people, and to love this world after all.
Yeah, exactly. That's the wise advice for everyone: to stay active, to stay safe, and stay healthy. And from this these evening discussions, we can sum up that finding the role suiting personality traits is really important, because about the skill, the hard skill, you can learn from the school. But again, about the trait, you need to develop on your own. It really requires your own passion for that. And again, don't work for money, but work from your passion. Start with your passion first. The money will come. That's what we believe. And also in the hospitality, it won't be hard if you work and develop yourself with heart. So just again, stick with heart in doing everything you are doing now, especially in the hospitality industry, because that's what actually required. And I really want to thank you, Kirill, for joining us this evening. It's actually dinner time there. I hope we don't interrupt too long your dinner time there, Kirill.
No, I was about to cook something right now, so yeah, that's perfectly fine. My dinner is at 7, so I'm on time.
Oh,
and
cool,
hey guys, you just have fun. Don't forget to have fun. I forgot to mention that. That's very important. Just have fun, and you'll be all set.
Exactly. Thank you, Kirill. Really appreciate it. We hope that you can join us again in other time in our Vacaytalks. And also thank you for everyone joining. We got a few comments here. Thank you very much, guys, for your attention. And also thank you for everyone joining us today in Vacaytalks. I hope you enjoy and get something home, some insights, some ideas, because we'll keep sharing your to you ideas, insight about traveling, tourism, and also about the hospitality in general. And don't you worry if you miss this live stream. You can also watch our rerun by 24 hours by tomorrow in our YouTube channel, Vacaytalks. Also, if you have a topic you want us to bring up to discuss here in Vacaytalks, feel free to post us in our Instagram at Vacaytalks. So we are ready to listen to your topic we can discuss later. So for now, stay safe, stay healthy, everyone. See you soon in our next Vacaytalk. Have a good weekend, guys. Bye. Thanks, Kirill. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks. Bye now.
Thank you.